Hey guys, Putzman 945 here. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, I had another idea. I'm not saying this is gonna become like a series or anything, but um similar to the Berserk video I made about the monster designs and whatnot. I was reading another volume of a different manga which I've been reading. Um, and while I was finishing this particular volume this morning, I had an idea that I wanted to talk about. So that manga is actually one I have not talked about on this channel before, but it is Vagabond. Um, I've been reading Vagabond. Um, I started it before and then I restarted it earlier this year. I have all the Big versions. I recently ordered 5, 6, and 7 of these from Amazon. I just finished this one this morning. Um and I'm excited because I'm supposedly onto the peakest part of Vagabond with the Sasaki Kojiro stuff. But that in specific is not really what I'm going to be talking about. And similar to Berserk, there is a ton of things that I could talk about. That makes Vagabond an absolute fucking masterpiece. I could talk about the amazing paneling, the incredible action, the brilliant character writing, um, I could bring up the fact that this manga has some of the best goddamn visuals I have ever seen in art form, which gives Berserk a serious run for its money a lot, and I really didn't think any manga could even come close to Berserk. I still think that Berserk holds that top spot for me, but god damn, the some of the panels of just pure natural beauty in Vagabond are just breathtaking is an understatement. But the specific thing that I wanted to talk about, similar to the Berserk video, I'm not directly talking about the art, but I'm talking about another brilliant thing that is a kind of sub feature of the brilliant art. And that is Vagabond's incredible visual storytelling. As in, how much can get displayed across a page or a series of pages with not a single text bubble whatsoever. Okay, sorry for the I'm going to find the exact panels that I really wanted to talk about here. Um, because I think that I think that even out of all the stuff I read in this particular volume here, um, uh, and like there was some fantastic visual storytelling that would really fit my example in terms of the first bit of the Sasaki Kojiro stuff that makes up a large part of this volume. But the defining example that I want to talk about, which I think has possibly my fate, like what I think is the absolute best example of it across the entirety of this manga that I've read, is near the beginning. After Musashi defeats Sujikaze Kohei, or his nickname Shishio Baiken, um, and before he dies, we kind of without like a single line of dialogue at all, we um are exploring his entire relationship with essentially his adopted daughter Rindo. I'm gonna try and hold up to see as best I can. Obviously, like me showing the panels is not the point of this video. If you want to know what actually happens, I would say just go and read this part of the manga. I just kind of use these, like in the Berserk video, to kind of make a point with this. Um, and I just, as you can see, um, you learn everything about their relationship. Like in a previous bit of flashback, or maybe it comes after this, I can't remember, where like Shishido Baiken was actually a real person, and um and Kohei was the one that killed him and essentially took that title for himself. And they had a rocky relationship at first, because Kohei killed Rindo's father, but Rindo's father was not very good to her. And he turns out to be a much better father figure, and just with no dialogue whatsoever, and like through okay, well, there are some panels with dialogue, but like through mostly no dialogue at all. In fact, here's the bit where he's yeah. Here we go. Or no, he was killing some bandits here. Yeah. This bit right here on the left side, this is what I'm talking about, where they share the akabi fruits. Like, there is only one word of dialogue on either of these pages, and yet you understand literally everything that is going on with only that one word of dialogue and like some noise bits. And then it is just perfectly capped off by this as it goes back to the present tense. And that's another thing that I think is brilliant about Vagabond's storytelling in general, is just the way when it perfectly knows how to switch tenses between like showing a backstory to flesh out a character and then including that character, because it shows flashbacks of characters a lot when they are about to die. And you see like even more of it here. Like the only dialogue that you really see is Musashi making breathing noises here, and then just this beautiful double spread panel of just like a confident victory by Musashi. It is incredible. Um, and then we have to skip through some stuff with Bumchi here, who no one gives a shit about. So we're just gonna skip past that, and then you know we go back to this, and just an incredible panel when you thought he was down and out. He sacrifices his remaining life to not get hit, so Rindo doesn't get hit by the sickle, and it is just amazing how that works. Um and I think that like and I think the another brilliant thing about Vagabond is like this perfect balance between when to use this visual storytelling and these sprinkles in of dialogue. So like there's just this little bit of dialogue where he like questions actions, or he questions his actions, like why didn't I kill her? Why did I save her just now? And then you have this, which is this one on the right, which is probably um this and another one coming up sooner, up there with my favorite panels in Vagabond so far, to be honest. Um, because, even on the left side, you see her trying to cover up the blood. And then, so symbolic, he makes the same kind of scar that Musashi put on his face. And then here we have on the left here we have one of my favorite panels in this entire manga so far, I think. Um just such a powerful panel of them embracing as before Kohei dies. Um and like this perfect mix of just visual storytelling and dialogue, and how well the visual storytelling communicates literally everything that you need to know. Um, c- wi- Combined with that, I feel like perfect balance between dialogue and said visual storytelling that has no dialogue. I think that it overall creates such a cohesive and deep reading experience when you're consuming Vagabond because it's the perfect balance of these two elements that make all of this story all the more engaging. Um, and I think that and I think that that aspect of the balance is my favorite aspect of Vagabond, even though there are so many parts of it that are an absolute masterpiece. The balance of the dialogue and the no dialogue is my favorite part. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know if you want me to make more videos about Vagabond, since this is my first time talking about it on the channel. And I will see you all later. Bye bye.